Erica, welcome.
Yay, welcome, Erica.
I'm guessing you're Julia's friend. Thanks, Julia. Now we're gonna have more classes this week because you both signed up for stuff. There she is.
Yay.
Erica, do you have any special requests, any areas that might be bothering you?
Like shoulders, upper neck.
Okay.
Upper neck, neck.
Sounds good. And you've done yoga before, so you're good there. Yeah. Okay. And everybody has their props, blocks, and things like that?
Yep.
Okay. So we're really only going to need blocks and maybe a strap. And if you don't have a strap, a belt or a robe tie will do. Just to kind of put it out there, because we don't always do them, but sometimes. So, All right. So let's start in a comfortable position. And what is comfortable for you, which means either child's pose, or you can start on your back like this in Supta Baddha Konasana. And you can have a hand over your heart and one over your belly, two hands over your belly, just whatever you need to do to get yourself comfortable. We're going to start and stop in this, and start and end in the same way, in a nice, comfortable, resting pose. And there's nothing special to do for now. We're just settling into our bodies, noticing the breath. And regardless of whether you're on your back or in child's pose, just bring your awareness to your belly and see if you can relax the belly and just notice the way, with every breath, the way the belly expands and contracts. So just notice how that feels. And while we're here, hi Bianca. Can do a little body scan. And just notice what's happening in your body right now, and maybe even start to deepen the breath a little bit. We'll be taking full, long, deep breaths throughout the practice, and I will remind you while we're doing it. And while you're deepening your breath, see if you can imagine getting your exhalations to be longer than your inhalations. If you want to count, you can count, but you don't have to. Usually we can feel the difference. And when you get your exhalations a little longer than the inhalations, that really helps us come right into our parasympathetic nervous system and some deep relaxation. Nice, soft, full, deep breaths. And then slowly we'll start to make our way up. And today we'll start in a seated position. So if you have a little blanket that you can sit on just to elevate the hips a little bit, I would recommend that. Take your time coming up. I don't want to jolt anyone. Right, this class is taking it easy. Although not as easy as the other one, the back care one. That one is super taking it easy. So if you can sit on a little blanket, that would be great. And you can sit either cross-legged or one heel in front of the next. And bring your awareness to your spine. Just notice your spine for now and where it's sitting in space. See if we can adjust, make sure that the spine is sitting directly above the pelvis, and then get a little bit of length by maybe lifting the crown of the head, lifting the chest a little bit, just creating some length on our own. You can even make sure that the chin is parallel to the floor. And then maybe even bring your hands to your belly and notice your breathing. You can close your eyes or look down here, but just for a moment, notice your diaphragm expanding and contracting. And notice if that feels easy or hard, because some people do tend to breathe through the chest, and that can be a bit much. So just notice it. So we want to direct the breath all the way down into the diaphragm. And now from here, you can leave your hands on your belly or you can place them on your legs. And we'll simply inhale. And as you exhale, let the chin drop to the chest. Couple of deep breaths here. And then from here, what we'll do on the next inhale, we'll start to rotate the head over to the side and allow it to start rolling up the side of the body so that the ear feels like it's coming parallel to the shoulder. And then as we exhale, we'll turn and look down and allow the chin to come to the center again. On the next inhale, now go at your own pace, I'll just give the instructions, and then on the next one, we'll come up the other side. And as we exhale, we'll go down. So basically we're going back and forth, but we're not going all the way around. It's just safer to do it this way. Sometimes you can get too much extension if you tilt the head back too much. I want you to go at your own pace. The inhales come up one side, and then the exhales roll back to center. And now the challenge here is to see if you can go somewhat slowly so that you can really feel all of the movement, all of the little muscles that get to participate in the stretch. You get to notice if one side feels different than the other. All of that is information, just knowing more about your body, what's going on inside your body. And I'll have you do another full round. And then we'll all meet in the center in a neutral position whenever you're ready. And then from the center, we'll take the hands out in front with tented fingers into potted palm. We'll start to get some length in the spine from here. We'll start to walk the arms forward. Now, how far you go is up to your body, not up to me. So remember, and it's always about how it feels, not how it looks. You can tuck the chin a little bit so that we can get more length in the neck. And if this is as far as you go and it feels pretty good, stay right here. If you can go further, but you don't want to go so far that the hips come off of the mat or the blanket. And if they do, that's basically where you'll pause. And then you can press the fingers into the mat and press the hips back again, just to make sure that they're nice and solidly on the mat or on a blanket. That's your foundation. And then you'll create traction in your spine. You might even feel that extra length. You might feel some of the muscles in the back getting a nice stretch here. Full deep breaths. Remember to breathe through your belly. And then slowly we'll start to walk the arms back again. Take your time and we'll come all the way back up to sitting up straight. Keep breathing through the belly. I actually just ate. I can feel my belly a lot. I shouldn't have eaten before practice. And let's inhale the right arm up. And let's exhale the arm to the opposite knee and turn and look over the left shoulder. From here, we're not twisting far because we're not really warmed up yet, right? So take it easy on yourself, but lift the chest a little as you inhale. And then we twist as we exhale. Full deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, we'll slowly make our way back to the front. On your next inhale, we'll take the left arm up. And exhale, cross over the opposite knee. Turn and look over the right shoulder this time. Once again, full deep breaths. From the belly, lift the chest a little as you inhale, twist as you exhale. In the beginning, it's fine to do like maybe a half twist. You know, just when you feel it. Again, you'll notice later on when we do another twist that you'll twist further, and that's because your body will be warmed up. So we're always working from where we're at. Next exhale, whenever that happens for you, we'll turn back towards the front. And then from here, let's bring hands to the tops of the shoulders and let's do some rotations. Maybe even let the elbows touch if possible. And again, decide what pace you want. I like to go slow, but maybe it'll feel better for you to go a little bit faster. You can really exaggerate the movements. And again, this is one of those snap, crackle, pop poses that we can sometimes hear that or feel it. And then we'll pause and change directions at any time that you feel comfortable with. Just get some nice movement in here, warming up the deltoids. Beautiful. And then we'll pause. And then from here, let's inhale the right arm up again. Take the left arm out to the side and we'll start to walk the arm over. When you get to the mat, press the arm into the mat so you'll get even more stretch on the outer ribs. And then we reach way over with the right arm. If you want to go further, and you can bend the elbow. You can even walk the arm out further, whatever you know feels right for you. And then from here, the gaze is either up towards the ceiling, straight ahead, or down, depending on how it feels on your neck. Full deep breaths. Make sure your hips are feeling pretty solid here. Nice strong foundation. From here, we're going to turn and look down and reach forward with the right arm. Anita, you might be feeling this one by now, so just go easy, okay? If your back is bothering you. And then slowly we'll inhale back to the side view. I don't even know what to call this. And then we're gonna come up and over. I need to start making up some things. And then we'll inhale the other arm up and we'll walk the right arm out to the side. And again, just press the arm into the mat, get even more stretch on the outer ribs and reach over. Full deep breaths. And again, the gaze can be where it feels comfortable for you. So looking up is probably the most challenging, but if you want to strengthen some muscles in your neck, then this would be the way to do it. Looking forward is a bit more neutral. And then if you have any neck pain, you might find that looking down is even better for you. That's why it's good to test it out. And we're, again, we're all different. From here, we'll turn and look down, reach forward with the left arm. And then slowly we'll turn back to the side. And then press the arm in. We'll come up and over one more time. Let's take the legs out in front. Give them a little shake. And then cross the legs and come forward. We're going to come onto hands and knees for a little bit. If you want to pad your knees, you can grab a blanket. And actually, before we come on to hands and knees, I skipped this. And now that I've got all my old school students here today, they're going to love me for this. We're going to sit on toes. So, Julia, we used to do this every week without fail. And it was a killer at first, but we all got used to it. And now we can all sit on our toes like a bunch of champions. We're legends now. So if it's too much though, you can lean forward a little bit to take some of the weight off, okay? So there's no shame in that. It can be super intense if you're not used to it. So you can even bring a block to the side. It's not cheating, you're just supporting yourself, okay? If you are okay, we'll just sit up straight, really feel what's happening in the feet. Again, noticing if one is different than the other. Notice how much tension is in your feet today. Maybe you did some walking or some working out. I proudly took a walk in my flip-flops today. I was super happy about that. And happy to share it. And then we'll come forward. Go ahead and tap the toes out. Then we'll come back to our tabletop. So we did the toes, but now we're going to get into the back of the leg. So let's take the right leg back on the ball of the foot, press the heel back, full deep breaths, gaze is past the mat, arms are strong, breathing through the belly. Notice where you're feeling it, probably mostly in the calves, but you might feel this in your hamstrings as well. And then we'll take the right leg behind the left onto the outer edge, look over the left shoulder. Anita, on this one, also take it slow, okay? Then go ahead and bring that right leg to starting. And just check to make sure that the knees are hips width apart. And before we take that left leg back. So now we'll take the left foot back on the ball of the foot. Right? We're just pressing the heel back, getting into the calf muscle, getting into the hamstring. Gaze is past the mat. We don't want to let the head just dangle here. Full deep breaths, arms are strong from the belly, breathing. Let's take the left leg behind the right on the outer edge of the foot, looking over the right shoulder. Be really gentle with this. If it's bothering your back, you do need the stretch, but you want to go real slow with it. Let's bring that left leg back to starting. And let's take a quick down dog. I mean fast, as we're just going to get into it first. Come into the downward facing dog. Okay, make sure that the arms are rotating in, so it's like the biceps are coming in towards your ears. Bend the knees, press the hips up and back, and press the mat away from you with the arms so you can feel that length in your spine. From here, you can try to bring the heels towards the mat, but it doesn't mean anything if they don't. That's an anatomical thing if your heels don't touch the mat. It has nothing to do with your flexibility. Let's take the heels up and let them drop over to the left. You might have to bend the left knee a little so you can feel the stretch in the right hip. Let's take the heels back to center again, and then let them fall over to the right. Again, feel free to bend the knee a little so you can get that stretch in the left hip. Come back to center, press the heels down towards the earth, and then inhale and come forward into plank. Full deep breaths, 3 breaths. On your third exhalation, whenever that happens, we'll come back to hands and knees again. So back to tabletop. See, we did some strengthening. Aren't we amazing? And then from here, we're going to take the right leg back and up. We'll practice our balance a little bit. So find out where you need to be here. If you're feeling wobbly, bring the leg back down and widen the stance, and then take that right leg back up again. So make sure you're feeling comfy and balanced. And then when you are, you can go ahead and take that left arm forward. We'll stay here and breathe. Now, I'll give you a couple more options. If this feels really easy for you, you can bend the right knee, reach back, take the foot or ankle. But that, again, just an option. And only if it feels too easy and you need to more challenge. Once again, full deep breaths from the belly. Maybe even find a drishti point. So anything that you can focus your gaze on to help you with your balance. If you did take the leg or ankle, release it, and we'll all continue to reach forward with the left arm and back with the right leg for 3 more breaths. And then on the third exhale, we'll bring everything back to the mat. Full inhale and exhale here. And then on the next inhale, we'll take the left leg up. Again, find your balance, get comfy, and then we'll take the right arm forward. Full deep breaths again from the belly. And then you can reach back and take the left foot or ankle if it's available to you, and if you decide to take it as an option. And just breathe fully and deeply, working on focus and working on balance. If you took the ankle or foot, go ahead and release, but continue to reach forward with the arm. Even out the hips too, because sometimes that left hip can hike up a little bit. So a couple more breaths here. And then on your third exhale, whenever that comes in, we'll go ahead and release and bring everything to the mat. From here, take the knees wide, let the toes touch, and we'll press back into child's pose with the arms in front. So try to keep the arms off the mat if possible. This will create more traction in the spine. And then you want to bring the forehead down and then press the hips back a little bit more. And again, keep the arms straight and keep them engaged. Full deep breaths. From here, lift the head up off the mat just a little, and then we'll walk the arms over to the right. Lower the forehead again and breathe. Then lift the head off the mat again, walk the arms towards the center and then over to the left. And then lower the forehead again. Take a few breaths here. lift the head again, walk the arms back to center. Come back to hands and knees, and again, just check to make sure that the knees are about hips width apart. Now, keeping the hips above the knees, we're going to walk the arms forward and come into puppy pose. So let your chest come towards the earth, rest your forehead. Keep the arms straight and keep the arms engaged. Hopefully you can feel this in the shoulders and in the shoulder sockets. Full deep breath from the belly. Allow the belly to feel relaxed. Then slowly we'll start to walk the arms back again. Coming to tabletop one more time. Let's curl the toes under, press back into downward facing dog. We'll inhale and come back into plank. So we're going to take side plank from here. Now, if you prefer to take one leg down first, I'll show you how to do that. You'll take your left leg down and then kick it out like a kickstand, and we'll come into side plank this way. If you prefer both legs to stay up, you're just going to come forward a little bit, bring your left hand towards center, and let both heels fall over to the left and come into side plank that way. Whichever one you do is what you need today. So just breathe here. Slowly turn back to the front. We'll switch sides. So if you're going to take a leg down, we'll take the right leg down this time and then kick it out like a kickstand and take the left arm up. Otherwise, we'll keep both legs straight, bring the right hand in towards the center, and take the left arm up. Let the heels fall over to the right. Full deep breaths. Then we'll turn back to the front one more time and bring the knees down again, back into tabletop. I promise I'm not going to beat anybody up tonight. Nice and gentle. Now we're going to come into my favorite twist, and I try to convince other people that it's theirs. We're going to inhale the left arm up, and then exhale the left under the right. Keep the hips above the knees. And that right hand can just stay where it is, and you can press into the mat just to keep yourself steady, but you'll relax the head and the left shoulder and let the chest gently melt towards the mat. Now, if you want some options for this, again, just options. If you're happy where you are, stay where you are. You can also walk the right arm forward. Could also take it up towards the ceiling. You could rest it on your low back, and you could even wrap it around the waist. And you don't have to do any. You can leave the right hand right where it is, right from the start, and just stay here and breathe. And then we'll bring the right hand back to the mat from wherever it is to the starting position. And then just press the arm into the mat, and the whole body will just come up and around. And then we'll take a full breath here. Just a brief rest. And then we'll inhale the right arm up and exhale the right underneath the left and come to the other side. So just like we did on the first side, the left hand can stay where it is. You can also take one of the many options. You can walk the left arm forward. You can raise it up towards the ceiling, rest it on your low back, or wrap it around your waist. Full deep breaths, relax the belly. Allow the chest to melt towards the mat, letting gravity do the work. Then go ahead and bring the left hand back to starting. And we'll just press the arm into the mat and come back to tabletop. And then gently come to sit back on your heels. And then from here, we're going to get a quad stretch. So we're going to sit on the heels and then start to walk the arms back. Now you can lean back as far as is comfortable for you. Keep your eyes on your knees. If your knees start to come up off the mat, you've gone far enough. And just stay there and breathe through it. And your arms, just bend the elbows as much as is comfortable. You can explore it this way. If it feels okay, you can come down to elbows, but don't force yourself to do it if your legs don't want to do it, because that might be too intense. So the beauty of this particular one is you can really play with it. You can come down a little, and if it's too intense, come back up again. And just breathe and enjoy that feeling of stretch in the front of the legs that we don't get very often. And then slowly start to make your way back up. And then we're going to crawl forward onto our bellies. So we can do a little bit with the shoulders, a little bit with the back. We'll start by taking the feet a little wider. You can just have the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Your arms are up by your sides at 90-degree angles with the tented fingers. And then as we inhale, we'll lift the upper body. And again, tuck the chin a little just to get more length in the spine. And then as you exhale, dip the left shoulder and turn your head and look underneath the right. Inhale back to center. And again, you don't have to breathe when I'm breathing. Go at your own pace. And your next exhale, dip the right shoulder, look underneath the left. Inhale back to center, pressing up. Exhaling, dipping the left shoulder again. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder. Inhale back to center one more time. And then exhale and let your forehead come to the mat. And then your hands can be by your side underneath the heads of the shoulders. And then we'll inhale and lift the upper body off the mat. Now the hands can either stay on the mat just to keep your balance, or you can take them up off the mat, up to you. Full deep breaths. And then lower the forehead and rest. On your next inhale, come back up. And if you can take the hands up, great. And even better, see if you can squeeze the elbows toward each other. So we're opening up the front of the chest, and then tuck the chin again slightly just to elongate the neck. Full deep breaths. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. And then slowly release. Next, we'll clasp hands behind the back. And then we'll inhale and lift the body up off the mat, straighten the arms and lift the arms up and back. And if it's okay with your back, take the legs up as well. Again, tuck the chin a little to let the neck get long. Full deep breaths. on your next exhale, slowly come down. See if you can come down somewhat slower than you feel like coming down intuitively, right? And then let the hands come to the low back before releasing them. Turn your head to one side and take a rest here. Now we did stretch the quads, so we'll bend both knees. And then we'll reach back and take both ankles or feet, whatever you can reach. And then we'll inhale and take everything up into full boat pose. Full deep breaths. Try to keep the knees together if possible. Not all the way together, just don't let them splay out. Just keep them parallel. And if the body is rocking, that's wonderful. That means you're breathing through your diaphragm. And then to come down, we won't hold it too long. So we'll go ahead and start coming down, but see if you can come down kind of slow. Then you release the legs, turn your head to the other side and take another little rest. From here, we'll turn the head back to center, bring your hands to the mat, and we'll just press to come up and out again. So if you have handy, have a blanket nearby or block or whatever kind of props you have. You may not need any, but I like to have stuff nearby when I do this. We're gonna come into pigeon pose and we'll come into it the easy way. So one way is to just come from downward dog and bring the right shin to the mat. I think that's probably the easiest actually. And then you'll turn the shin towards the front and come into your pigeon. Now, this can be a lot, right? So this is where the blocks come in. You can actually put a block underneath your right hip for the support if you need it. You can also put blocks or blankets underneath the front of the body so that you can come to rest in this pose, which is not easy for everyone. I find it super challenging. So I like to pad myself up. But before we come down, just feel out your pigeon first, right? So just notice your hips in space. Notice if they're square, which they should be. Notice if you feel like you need something underneath your right hip so that you don't slide over to the right. You may need something, you may not. And we'll sit up straight at first. Full deep breaths. Hopefully you'll notice a bit of a stretch in the front of the left hip. So we're getting into the psoas here. And then slowly, you can start to make your way down into the pigeon pose. So for some people, just being up on arms is enough. Again, feel it out. Your body will let you know what it's okay with and what it's not okay with. If you're super comfortable coming right down, go for it, lay right down into it. But you can also, if you need more height in there, you can use your bolster. You can use what I have here. I have 2 blocks and a blanket on top. So just find your comfort zone and we'll rest here for a minute. And just come back to your breath. Notice the sensations. If it's too intense, you can always back out a little bit. And just keep coming back to the breath. Just stay with it. Stay with your physical body. Be in your body. we'll start to think about coming up and then eventually just start to make our way back up. You can just press the arms into the mat, prop yourself back up. We'll slide that right leg back, come back into downward facing dog just for a moment, just to stretch everything out again. Maybe even press one heel down and bend the opposite knee, go back and forth a couple of times. And then whenever you're ready, you bend the left knee and just bring that shin right down to the mat. And then you can turn the shin, feel it out in your hips, see if you need any support under one of the hips. If you need blankets, blocks, things like that, just start to set yourself up. And we're gonna stay with the arms straight for a few breaths so we can get into the psoas muscle first. You can also challenge yourself here by taking the hands up maybe and balancing out. Some people like to take mudras. You can also try, we didn't do this on the other side, but whatever. You can also try reaching back and taking the right leg. That can be fun too, and creating a little mudra. Now you look all fancy. But we did stretch quads, so hopefully we can maybe get in there. Either way, again, the feeling, the sensation, a lot of it is here. And then at your own pace, again, making sure that the hips are square and they're both supported, we'll start to maybe move forward with the upper body. And if you want to just stay here and have this be your pose, then stay here. If you want to start to come forward a little bit with the upper body, go for it. You can come to lay down if that's available to you, if you've got some blankets or a bolster. And again, we'll just take our time here and let gravity do the work for a couple of minutes. Just stay with your breath. Relax the belly. Maintain the nice full deep breaths here. Think about your body melting a little bit with every exhalation. Maybe even imagine some of the stress leaving your body and just melting down into the mat, down into the ground beneath us. Just letting it go. And slowly we'll start to make our way up again. But again, take your time. There's no rush. See how we're feeling. And basically we're just going to roll off that hip and bring the legs in front. We're coming back into sitting. And I recommend to sit on a blanket again if you have one. It'll just make everybody's life easier. And then if you have an extra blanket or towel nearby, I like to roll them up to put under my knees. We're going to take a forward fold so we can stretch the back a little and the back of the legs. Okay, so if you want to put something underneath the knees to support them, go for it. It's always a good idea. It's so much better on the back. And then we keep the feet engaged here. So we don't want to leave them loosey-goosey. We'll flex the feet. We're really engaging the muscles. And then we inhale the arms up and get some length, right? Really reach up and then start to fold forward. And wherever the hands land, they land. Full deep breaths. If you're feeling any twinges in the low back, lift the upper body a little so we're not folding as deeply. Again, when you get those twinges or little discomforts, that is your body talking to you. So don't ever ignore that. Full deep breaths. And then slowly start to walk the hands back again. We'll just come back up to sitting. And then we're taking the right leg out and bringing the left foot in. You can keep something under the knee here if you'd like. And sitting up straight again. Okay, Anita, this is one you definitely want to be careful of, right? We'll inhale the arms up, turn towards the extended leg, and then fold forward. And if you can rest the forehead, wonderful. If you can't, you can maybe use a block, rest your forehead on the block. If you can get the upper body to relax on something, it just makes the whole thing a little bit more easy and even more enjoyable. So full deep breaths. Now from here, we're going to do something a little bit different than normal. So stay where you are, just come up halfway, maybe move the block out of the way if you did use it. And we're gonna take the upper body and turn it to the side. So now the arm is gonna be on the inside of the right leg, and then that left arm is going to come up. Now, if you can only reach up, that's fine. If you can come all the way around, that's fine too. But again, just be really gentle with it and see where you're at, okay? Full deep breaths, go real slow. This can be intense on the back. Either way, we want the body to be to the side, maybe even the chest up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Then slowly we'll make our way back over. Take your time. Hope that felt okay. We're going to switch sides. We're going to take the left leg out and the right foot in. Again, that left leg stays flexed. And if you have a little block nearby, that's great. Adjust however you need to. Make sure you can really feel your sit bones. A nice foundation, right? And then we inhale the arms up. Turn toward the extended leg, flex the left foot, fold forward again. Now, again, you can try the block here if you want to rest your forehead on the block. But if you can come all the way down, that's nice too. Full deep breaths. Keep the belly soft. And then slowly, if you do have the block, remove the block. And then we'll turn our body to the side. We'll bring the right arm up and that left arm's gonna be on the inside. If you can reach to the toe, that's fine. But if you're like here, that's fine too, okay? Very slowly, we'll start to reach the right arm up and over. Full deep breaths. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or straight ahead or down, again, depending on how it feels. Nice and slow here, nice and gentle. Notice the sensations. If there's any discomfort, make sure you're making your way back out of the pose a bit. And then slowly we'll inhale and come back up and around, letting the right arm lead us. Then we're going to sit back towards the front. So we're going to do, we were going to do the thing on the floor. We're going to do it this way though. We're going to stretch our hips. So the left knee comes forward. So the knee is bent. If you have super tight hips, you'll actually just take the whole left leg in front and we'll cross with the right. But if your hips aren't that bad, then we'll take the left, I can't talk, across over with bent knees so that we're stacking the knees if possible, okay? I got the sentence out. Now you can probably feel this. Make sure, again, if you're sitting on a blanket, I'm sure you can feel the hips are nice and square. So just make sure that your hips are square, okay? And then we'll take the arms out to the side. So if your right leg is on top, then you're going to bring the left arm in first and then the right arm will be on top. We're coming into eagle arms here. And then from here, just full deep breaths. If this feels really good, just the way it is, just stay here. Some options though, if you'd like to explore, you can try drawing the elbows forward a little bit and just see what happens there, if you like it or not. You could also try raising or lowering the elbows as well. And that can sometimes help you find a little spot that might need extra attention. And when you do find a spot like that, you can always just pause and breathe into it. So feel free to play around with this a little bit or not at all. Again, that's up to you and it's up to your body. Full deep breaths, relax the belly. And then slowly start to release. And then we'll open up the arms and we'll twist the arms in opposite directions so we can, again, get into the heads of the shoulders. Erica, is that a cat? Or is it a dog?
It's a dog.
Oh, it's just a little dog. He's so cute. I was watching. I couldn't tell though because it's dark. And then release the hands and we'll bring the hands in front. Now you can just stay here. If this might be intense enough, but if you want to get into the hip a little bit more, you can try pressing forward a little bit further. Again, just notice the sensations. Notice how this feels in your hips. Full deep breaths. This is similar to the one that we do when we're on our backs and we start with the figure 4 and then we cross all the way. This gets into the piriformis muscle, which is nice. And then go ahead and walk yourself back again. We'll switch sides, maybe even tap it out before we cross over the other direction. And again, feel it out. If it's too intense, you can leave the right leg straight. That's not a problem. Just make sure that your sit bones are in the mat, nice and solid. And then we'll take the arms out by our sides. So with the right and left leg on top, we're going to bring the right arm in first and the left on top again. And we'll come into the same pose on the other side. You might notice a difference. You might not. Again, everybody's different, right? And just like we did before, you can either just stay here, breathe into it, enjoy, or you can play with it a little bit. You can try drawing the elbows forward or drawing them up or down or all of the above or none of the above. Full deep breaths, relax the belly. Just notice the sensations. And slowly, let's start to release the arms. Take them out and we'll twist them again in opposite directions just to loosen them back up again. And then release and bring the hands in front. And you can either just stay here and breathe, or you can try to walk the arms forward. And again, notice if one side feels different than the other. I definitely feel a big difference in this particular pose. Full deep breaths. Take your time with it. Be gentle with yourself. There's no need to push or force your body into things. Allow your body to let you in a little bit at a time when it's ready. And then slowly we'll walk our way back up. Uncross the legs. We're going to cross the right over the left. Keep the left leg flexed, the foot flexed rather, and then we'll take the arm, hug the knee, twist over to the right again. And you'll probably notice that you're twisting a lot more deeply this time around. Keep the left foot flexed. Lift the chest as you inhale, twist as you exhale. Breathe through the belly. On your next exhale, whenever that is, we'll make our way back to the front. And then we'll uncross the legs and cross to the other side. So keep that right foot flexed this time. Hug the left knee into the chest and turn. Look over the left shoulder. Lift the chest as you inhale. Twist as you exhale. Don't forget the right foot stays flexed. Full deep breaths. And then on the next exhale, whenever that comes in, we'll slowly make our way back to the front, uncross the legs, and then we'll come onto our backs. We'll start to wrap up the practice. Keep the knees bent. Walk the feet out a little bit and let the knees fall over to the left and then over to the right. We'll go back and forth a few times like windshield wipers. And then from here, we'll pause in the center, bring the feet in closer to the body, and then press the hips up into bridge pose. But we don't have to come into full bridge. You could even just do half bridge where you're creating a single straight line from the knees to the hips to the shoulders. Hold this for a few breaths. Now in your next exhale, we'll start to come down. See if you can come down real slow and just lay down the vertebrae one at a time until the spine and the sacrum comes flat. Then we'll hug the knees into the chest. Give ourselves a nice little rock side to side. And then from here, we'll get ready for Shavasana. So if you want to grab a blanket, grab a sweater, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable. You can put something under your knees if you'd like, maybe that rolled up blanket or towel, up to you. It feels better if you have any back issues to have something under the knees. But again, you don't have to. Just get cozy. And then we'll have the legs out in front and allow the feet to just fall naturally away from each other. And you can have your arms out by your sides with the palms facing up, or you can have, if you'd like, a hand over your heart, a hand over your belly, whatever configuration you'd like. Whatever helps you to feel safe, comfortable, and able to let go. So let go of the breath first. So no more full, deep breathing. We'll just come to the natural breath now. Nice and easy. Let the legs feel heavy and soft, relaxed. Imagine they're just kind of melting into the mat. Just notice your sacrum on the mat, fully supported. Allow the hips to feel heavy. Feel all the points of contact along the spine between you and your mat. Again, remembering that you're fully supported here. If you have any tension or stress left in your body that you can feel or sense, see if you can exhale that. Again, just releasing it into the mat and down into the ground beneath you. And soften the belly, soften the muscles of the chest and all the little muscles around the heart. And let your arms feel heavy, soft and relaxed. Relax the fingers and the hands. And relax the shoulder blades. Soften the neck muscles and the jaw. Release the tongue if it's stuck to the roof of the mouth. Relax the muscles of the scalp. The muscles of the cheeks. Around your eyes. Between your eyes. Soften your entire forehead. And slowly we'll start to bring awareness back into the room, back into your body. Maybe just start by taking a full deep breath, wiggling fingers and toes. You could also take the arms up overhead and give yourself a stretch. And bend the knees and roll over to one side. And take a moment on your side before coming up to sit. Just give yourself a minute. Let your brain integrate everything that we just did. And then slowly we'll make our way up to sitting. And if you need to run as soon as we finish, feel free. You don't have to say goodbye. You can just run. It's fine. But thank you so much for coming. We had full house tonight. It was so awesome. May we all be happy. May we all be peaceful. And may we all be free from suffering. Namaste. Have a lovely night.
Thank you, Spira.
Thank you.